let us continue with the structure of ecosystem. Already we have seen the tree diagram of ecosystem in the previous video. Now let us discuss in detail regarding the abiotic components and the biotic components in the ecosystem. Right now, let us start with the abiotic components. Abiotic components or what you call it as abiotic factors. Now already we know that they are divided into two types. One is climatic factors and the next one is edaphic factors. Right, edaphic factors. Now under climatic conditions or climatic factors, right, now let us discuss some important abiotic components, right, under climatic factors. Right now, before going into the climatic factors, now let us see the basic definition of this abiotic factors. Now what does this exactly mean? Now abiotic factors are nothing but they are devoid of life. Right now, and they are the inorganic and non-living parts of an ecosystem. They are inorganic and non-living parts of an ecosystem, which is nothing but devoid of life. Right now, let us see the climatic factors. Now what are the climatic factors? The first one, energy. Now what is the only source of energy that earth has? Now that is nothing but sunlight. Right now, sunlight is the main source, the only source of energy in all ecosystems mostly. Am I right? Now this is the energy that is used by the green plants. Now what are green plants? Which contains chlorophyll. Which contains chlorophyll. Which contains chlorophyll. Done. Now, right now, this sunlight is used by green plants during the process of photosynthesis. Now what is photosynthesis? Any idea of this? Your primary classes subject. Photosynthesis is nothing but manufacturing of organic substances, right, by using sunlight. Right, manufacturing of or producing organic substances. Done. Now observe here, how do you produce these organic substances? By combining your inorganic components. Am I right? So these abiotic factors are nothing but inorganic components. So clear? Yes. So the next climatic component is water. Already we have discussed this in this air composition, right, and also about the in hydrosphere. Now water is essential for all living organisms. Now that you know well. Now it helps to regulate body temperature. Now this is the point to be known. Water helps to regulate body temperature. Body temperature, right? Again, now these water bodies form the habitat. Am I right or wrong? These water bodies, nothing but your lakes, ponds, rivers, oceans, they form habitat for the aquatic animals. Aquatic animals and also your aquatic plants, right? Your phytoplankton, right? Algae, those need water to grow. Am I right? Yes. Now the next climatic component or factor is nothing but temperature. Temperature. Now this temperature is the key factor that greatly influences survival of your organisms. Survival of organisms. Right? Now these organisms can tolerate only a certain range of temperature and humidity. Am I right? Only certain range. Now beyond that, observe your body. Can it tolerate? No. If you are profusely sweating, can you tolerate? No. So it can survive, it can bear only a certain range of temperature and humidity. Done. Now what is the next climatic factor? The next climatic factor is atmospheric gases. Atmospheric gases. Now what are these atmospheric gases? Already we have discussed in detail in air composition, right? Now these atmospheric gases, and in this you need nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and these are necessary for the survival of flora and fauna on the planet, right? These are necessary for the survival of flora and fauna on the planet. So we have discussed this. Again, repetition is nothing but waste, right? Now see here, already we have discussed about oxygen. It is used for respiration. Carbon dioxide for photosynthetic activity. Nitrogen, see here, nitrogen for the production of nucleic acids, proteins, and your nitrogenous compounds. Minerals needed for the growth of your living components, right? Your like urea. Already we have discussed this in detail in the air composition. You check out that video, right? The next one is soil. Now see here, the next one is nothing but your edaphic factors. Now in this edaphic factors, soil is one factor, right? Edaphic factors. PHIC, sorry, edaphic factors. Now observe here, soil. Now you have to know about the topography of the soil. Now, topography is nothing but, what are the factors in topography? Soil texture, temperature, soil solution, right? And again you have to know about the pH of the soil, right? Already we have discussed in the structure of the ecosystem, right? Done. Now let us see in detail regarding biotic components, right? Biotic components. Now before going to biotic components, now see here, climate. In climatic factors, climate is also a factor. Now automatically you have seen the definition of climate in the previous topics, right? Average average weather of an area, which includes atmospheric conditions, right? With seasonal variations, weather extremes, when they are averaged over a long period, then that is called climate. Now climate is also an important abiotic factor, right? Already we have discussed this. Again, repetition is nothing but boring yourself, right? Now let us go to the next one. The next one, already we discussed about abiotic components. Now we will discuss about biotic components. Now already we have discussed in the structure of ecosystem regarding biotic components, right? Now first, what is the basic definition of biotic components? Now these biotic components include living organisms, plants, animals and microbes, right? Now they include plants, animals and microbes. Right? Now what this biotic means? Having life, right? Having life. Now let us discuss in detail regarding this biotic components, right? Before dealing in detail regarding this biotic components, now already we have seen the structure of ecosystem, right? Now according to that, I will draw a schematic diagram, then that will give you an overview of this biotic components and what's happening, right? Now observe here, in the structure of ecosystem, in biotic components, they are divided into three types: producers or autotrophs, consumers or heterotrophs, sometimes they are also called phagotrophs, and decomposers are saprotrophs, right? Now observe here, now I will write the relationship between producers and consumers. Producers and consumers. Now this schematic diagram will help you to understand the topic very well. Now what does this producers do? Producers, now producers, or you call it as autotrophs, am I right? Producers are autotrophs. Now the term itself says they produce food by taking energy from the sun, right? And also from the abiotic components, right, which is nothing but nutrients of soil and water. This is what we discussed: photosynthesis, production of organic compounds by using inorganic components, right? Now these producers take energy from the sun and nutrients from the soil and water, and they produce, right, Now from this produces the food is taken by herbivores, am I right? Yes, herbivores, they eat only plants, right? Herbivores. Now we will discuss in detail, don't worry about that. Now these herbivores are eaten by whom? The next one, carnivores. Now these are consumers, right? Carnivores. Now these herbivores and carnivores together are called, just now we have said, consumers. They consume the food, right? They consume the food. Now when these herbivores die and when these carnivores die, now these dead organic matter are taken by or eaten by nothing but called decomposes. Decomposes, right? Now see here, dead organic matter means even producers can die. Now if plants die, debris, animals die, all these are decomposed by decomposers, and this decomposed matter which is changes nutrients will be served as nutrients to the soil and water, am I right? Now see here, this is the schematic diagram of relationship between producers and consumers, which you can easily understand, right? Got the point? Yes. Now we will discuss this in detail, right? Now apart from photosynthesis, a few producers, photosynthesis means those who produce autotrophs, apart from this autotrophs, right, some specialized bacteria can extract inorganic components from the environment and they can convert them into organic nutrients by taking sunlight. Now see here, till now you have learnt only about plants take sunlight and inorganic components from the soil and they produce food. Now some specialized bacteria can also do the same thing, they can take energy from sun and inorganic, I mean minerals from soil and water, right, and they can convert it into food, right? Now this process is called, when it is done by bacteria, this process is called what? Chemosynthesis. Right? Now this is an important point. Now see here, the same thing when producers do, they take from energy from sunlight and minerals from soil and water. Now the change inorganic components to organic components. Now this process is called, if it is done by produce, then it is process called photosynthesis. Right? Now observe the difference between there. Photosynthesis means usage of sunlight, but we have missed out one point. Now this bacteria will not use sunlight. Now, that's the difference, right? Will not use the sunlight. In the absence of sunlight, we have missed this point. Absence of absence of sunlight. This is called chemosynthesis, right? Now initially what I said is they use energy from sun, but they don't use, that's the difference, right? That's the difference. Observe the difference. They don't use the energy from the sunlight. So this is called chemosynthesis. Now got the point clearly, right? Done. Yes. Now let us go to the next concepts. Now we have discussed about the producers, right? Now let us discuss in detail regarding consumers. These are general approaches, right? Consumers. Now what are consumers? Consumers are incapable of producing their own food. Already in the schematic diagram I explained it. They are incapable of producing their own food. Right? Now they are also called heterotrophs. Already we have discussed this. They are also called phagotrophs. Right? Now observe here. Now these consumers are again divided into herbivores, which is nothing but called as primary consumers. Primary consumers. Now the second type are called carnivores. Or secondary consumers. Now in the ecosystem structure what we have discussed is, now see here, carnivores are again divided into primary carnivores and these are called secondary consumers, and secondary, I mean primary consumers, right? Now we have discussed this as, I erase it. We have discussed this as secondary consumers, right? We are right. Now these are called primary carnivores. Yes, I'm a little bit confused, right? Now the next one are called large carnivores. Now see here, they are also called tertiary consumers. Tertiary consumers. Now the last one are called quaternary consumers, or you can call it them as omnivores, who can eat both plants and animals. Human beings are the best example for omnivores, right? Now observe here, herbivores, right? Now what do you mean by herbivores? Herbivores are nothing but they directly consume the plants. that they directly consume the plants, so they are called herbivores, right? Among aquatic animals, certain kinds of fish, mollusks also consume plants, right? Now what are those plants called? Phytoplankton. Phytoplankton. Now see here, my words are also much more important. Now phytoplankton, they are taken by some mollusks, fish, but these are also called herbivores. Done? Yes. Now what are the examples of herbivores? You can talk deer, rabbit, cow, goat, grasshopper, right? Many examples. Now what are primary carnivores or your secondary consumers, right? Now again, this carnivores are divided into, already we have divided here, first, second and third order, right? They are divided into first order carnivores, second order carnivores, and third order carnivores. Now let us see with an example, right? Then you can understand this. Now these animals predate on herbivorous animals. They consume this, herbivores, right? Now let us see an example. First order frog, first order carnivore. Now frog is taken by snake. Got the point? Yes. Now snake is consumed by eagle, right? Now with the examples you can understand this easily. Now I will explain one more thing. Rat, first order carnivore. Next one, rat will be consumed by cat. Cat will be eaten by lion or tiger, right? Now these are the examples, right? Now the next one, the leftover thing, omnivores. Now omnivores are nothing but they, so I'll write here, you can understand this. Omnivores, omnivores are the animals that eat both herbivores as well as carnivores. They eat, right, herbivorous animals and herbivores. Then this is a pure example. Herbivorous animals as well as plants. Now this is the correct example, right? Now examples, you can have many examples, right? Human being is the best example of omnivore, right? Already we have discussed this. Besides this, some examples, right, there are strictly carnivores, right, that they prey upon only on carnivores and herbivores, right? Lion, tiger, vulture, these are tertiary consumers. Now apart from this, we have to discuss one thing which is called micro consumers or decomposers. Micro consumers or decomposers. Right, now what are these micro consumers or decomposers? They are generally known as detritus or decomposers. Now they break down complex compound of dead remnants of flora and fauna, right? They break down, I'll summarize this, they break down complex compound of dead remnants, dead remnants of flora and fauna. Right, now this is the basic definition. Now these are also called as saprotrophs. Already we have discussed this, saprotrophs. Now the next significant point, right, now already we have seen this, they obtain energy and nutrients by dead organic substances, right? Now what are the examples for this? Bacteria, earthworm, right, termites, basic examples, right? All these are your termites which eat wood, right? Now what are the types of saprotrophs? Types of saprotroph, this is very important, right? Now you have to focus on this. Now the first type are called scavengers. Scavengers. Now what are scavengers, right? Now scavenging is nothing but a feeding behavior in which an animal feeds on either dead animal or dead plant, right? Scavengers are the animals with scavenging habits, right? So see here, they have a feeding behavior. They feed on either dead animals or plants, dead plants, right? This is nothing but called your scavenging habit, eating dead remnants, right? Now the next type of decomposers are parasites. Parasites. Now what are these parasites, right? Plants and animals that infect other living components of the ecosystem and survive on them are regarded as parasites, right? Now plants and animals that infect other living components and survive on them are called parasites. Now see here, infect other living, they depend on living components. Now scavengers depend on dead remnants. Your parasites can be plants or animals. Let us see some examples regarding scavengers, right? Now see here, your some bacteria, fungi are parasites, right? Now what about the examples of your scavengers? Now anybody can easily say, right? Your vultures, they eat on dead remnants. Vultures. Any others? Termites, earthworms, right? Jackals, they eat on dead remnants. Now, these are examples of scavengers, right? The next type of decomposers are osmotrophs. Osmotrophs. Now this is very important, right? This was once asked in your service commission examination. Osmotrophs. Which sentence best explains for osmotrophs is the question asked, right? Now these are heterotrophs, include living things that directly ingest food. Such living things are called phagotrophs or consumers, right? Now Phagotrophs are. Now let us discuss about osmotrophs now. Now there are some creatures which secrete digestive enzymes. There are some creatures which secrete digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes on their food. And that helps it to break down in tiny parts and then they absorb, right? That helps to break it down into tiny parts and they absorb right. Now these type of creatures are called osmotrophs, right? They secrete digestive enzymes on their food that helps to break it down into tiny parts and they absorb. These are called osmo. Now this is very important, right? Previously I explained you about phagotrophs, right? Now these are heterotrophs that directly ingest food. Now these are, and such type of living things are called phagotrophs or consumers, right? These are osmotrophs. Done. Now scavengers, parasites and osmotrophs are the different types of saprotrophs. Now focus on this. There will be certainly one question on this, right? Thank you.